cuts back inside the 10, the 5, touchdown Vikings.
The left side breaks one tackle, 2. He's across the 30, the 25, the 10, the 5, touchdown. Right side scores 1 man, takes off to the corner, and they can't catch up to it. Touchdown.
The 10, the 5, touchdown Vikings. He keeps it on a naked bootleg going to the corner. They won't catch him. Touchdown Vikings.
Downfield, throws deep to the end zone. Touchdown Vikings.
He's at the 40, the 45, the 50. It's a foot race. They won't catch him. They won't catch him. They won't catch him. Put him in the air. 6 for the Vikings. Touchdown.
It's time now for the 2016 Lowndes High Randy McPherson Coaches Show, live from the Mill Pizza Buffet and Games. This season's show is made possible through the generous support of these fine sponsors: Equipment Parts Supply, Deloach Body Works and Auto Repair, CBC Bank, Page Heating and Air, Luke Electrical Contractors, The Country Cobbler, Valdosta Insurance Services, R.L. Martin Company and Only Options, Spirit Embroidery, Goo Goo Car Wash, Prime Consulting Solutions, and the Viking Touchdown Club. So now, let's go live to the Mill Pizza Buffet with the Viking voice and Lowndes head coach Randy McPherson for this week's show.
And good evening, Viking fans, and welcome to the Mill Pizza Buffet and Games right here on Bay Tree Road in Remerton. This is the Lowndes High Randy McPherson Coaches Show, and this segment brought to you by Equipment Parts Supply. Equipment Parts Supply, your one-stop location for heavy equipment and farm equipment parts, located on Highway 84 West in Valdosta. This is the game recap as we talk to Coach McPherson, get his thoughts about last week's game over the Mount Zion Bulldogs. Coach, welcome to the show tonight.
How you doing, Bill?
Good, good. We were just talking here before we got started. A very good Mount Zion Bulldog team that comes in last Friday night, had a couple of really good athletes, and came in looking to maybe upset the Vikings, but we started rolling early, 28 in the first quarter, 14 in the second.
I was really pleased with our offense and how they executed the first half of the game. You know, didn't make a lot of mistakes, was able to throw the ball, run the ball, played fast. Just I was really proud of it.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job. Of course, Michael Barrett, touchdown pass to Tavon Kyle, a touchdown pass to Xavier Jenkins. We talk about this every week. We're 6 games into the season now, getting ready to go to the 7th. Michael Barrett just seems to get better week after week.
He's a winner. I've told you that. I think he loves the position. You know, I really do. He loves the quarterback position. He's getting better at it each week. He's feeling more comfortable. He had another good night. He made some really good throws. When he ran the ball, he ran physical. And he had room to run and time to throw, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, he had the opportunity at 9 carries. His gross was 65 yards, but he had to take those losses on those bad snaps. I mean, right. you were moving some linemen around and things. Talk about how you've addressed that this week. I mean, we just had some really poor snaps, and he had to really just fall on.
We had, I think it was 2 bad snaps.
Yeah.
One of them was over the head, but, our center, Henderson, is out with a concussion.
Out, right.
I think the official word is he'll be back for TIF for sure. He's got his symptoms are gone. Concussion symptoms, as far as headaches and being affected by light, that's the 2 big things.
Right.
So they got an exact protocol nowadays. When the symptoms go away, you have to wait this much time, and I kind of like it. I don't, obviously it's nothing you want to play with. So.
Yeah, it's not worth your future in your life, that kind of thing. So
a lot more important things than playing football, But he is, according to Philip Pipolo, our head athletic trainer, and the doc, he'll be back for TIF.
Well, that continuity of that offensive line is so important.
Yeah, but I will like to say this. Danny Corbett
Right.
was the guy that stepped in. You know, he made a couple bad snaps, but other than that, has stepped in and done a tremendous job. You know, I mean, our snaps have never been perfect.
No.
You know, with anybody. You know, so Corbett has stepped in and done an unbelievable job, and we're expecting the same thing Friday night. And he's a guy that's going to be playing a lot on the offensive line for the rest of the year.
Right. Well, you've got an offensive line that have really started to gel together. I mean, obviously, our running backs are getting room, as you said, to run. They're finding the holes. Michael Barrett has time to look down the field. He finds open receivers. That really starts at that offensive line.
It really does. You know, Finley's at right guard. Goss is at right tackle with Gray. Let's see, you got you got left guard Corbett, and then you got Tucker Barnes at left tackle.
Right.
I would say Barnes is the ringleader, followed by Finley. Finley don't like to talk. Tucker don't mind talking. You know, Danny Corbett has come a mile, you know, from what he did for us last year.
Right.
I think Danny Corbett could play somewhere next year. You know, I really do. If he continues on. You know, little Danny Corbett at center. Little, I mean, he's 220, 215 pounds. The smallest guy.
Yeah, he's the smallest guy on the line.
And he's a try-hard guy. And real good student, too. You know, and then Kendrick Gray is a right tackle.
Right, and he had a really good week.
And he shares time with Goss, and Goss is coming on. You know, Goss is 6'7".
Yeah, I was going to mention him. We talked about him at the very beginning of the year, before the season ever started. Your analogy was he's like a little giraffe, and now he's just a teenage giraffe. So he's still learning.
Well, you know, he just shot up so far so fast. You know, his coordination has caught up with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, how do you grow a foot and not be a little bit clumsy? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's 6'8", 6'7".
Right.
Probably 250 now. All the college coaches want to know about him, you know. But to answer your question about Goss, he's getting off the ball. He's figured out how to move in a low posture. He really tries hard. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see him start there at that right tackle this Friday night.
Well, of course, your offensive line coach has done a great job with this group of guys. Talk about what influence he has on these guys.
Tommy is an outstanding football coach. You know the key to being a successful high school coach is not how much football you know.
Yep.
You could go online
and learn
all the football you want. You could go online and learn everything. It's the relationships and it's how much those kids want to play for you, and that's Watson. Watson connects with kids. Watson cares about them kids. Watson's the kind of guy. He walking through the field house or walking on the practice field, and he sees something wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A kid doing something that he's not supposed to be doing, even if it's at the schoolhouse, in the gym, whatever. He's jumping right in the middle of it right now, and I like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy I want, you know. He's got a way of holding the kids accountable without knocking them down. And he was a head coach at Upson Lee for 4 or 5 years, moved to Valdosta, then came to Lowndes. You know, I don't look for Tommy to be around here very long. I think he's going to be jumping right back into a head job.
Well, but, you know, sometimes you got coaches that really like that role of being an assistant coach.
Right.
And there's no knock on that. I mean, you think of, you know the headaches that come along with being a head coach. I mean, you've really got to want to go into that next step, don't you?
You do. You know, you do got to want to. I mean, we don't talk about that with Tommy, but I'm the kind of guy that if I got a coach on my staff that wants to better himself with a better job, and he's doing a good job for me, I'm gonna help him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that any leader, that's a good trait, is that you want your people to coach them up and coach them out.
I want everybody on my staff to want to be a head coach, all of them.
And you've got a good one this year. Yeah. Great staff this year as well. We talked about offensively, of course, how well Michael Barrett's beginning to grow. Jalen Bell comes in Friday night, gets 5 carries for 22 yards and a touchdown. How's his growth coming along at number 2?
Jay is a senior. Jay got hurt, I think in camp. I don't know. Maybe Bainbridge. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before Bainbridge, and there was some type of a break on a bone in his leg.
Okay.
Lower leg. It wasn't the bone wasn't displaced. I don't know what they call it. Hairline
fracture or something. Right.
I mean, it was broke.
Right.
He had a broke leg.
Yeah. Okay.
So he worked his way back, and we got him back last week. He is a 200-pounder.
Yeah.
He's about 200, 205, low center of gravity, runs hard, been with the program right on. Never started a game yet, still stuck with it. I look for people to see Jay Bell get more carries this year.
Well, I know. I think as we were ending last year, moving into this year, I thought Jalen Bell was going to be one of those guys that we would count on, like we do J.D. Lee, Tisdale, and so forth. And so that answers that question. A broken leg, it's kind of hard to run with that.
You cannot play running back with a broke leg, Bill.
You might try it, but I don't think you're going to get very far. We, of course, with a great night in the first half, went to a running clock in the second half. They did score a couple times there late in the second quarter, early in the third. We were able to get a lot of young players in and get an opportunity to see guys like Adam Tedder, Caleb Burns. What's that mean to get those young quarterbacks in there?
It's big time. To have a game where we've had several games this year where we've been able to get some young kids in, and they're never going to forget that. That just makes them more hungry, gets them that experience out there in front of the crowd. Very valuable. Well,
we've got, of course, Michael Barrett, and really who probably should have been his backup, Dalton Hart, is still out. And
right.
So you've got to get guys like Tedder and Burns ready. They're one injury away from starting.
You're exactly right. You brought up Dalton Hart's name. He is really working hard, Bill.
Right.
He's doing his rehab with the Houston Clinic, and now he's actually working with the trainers at the school on the field running.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure he's not doing any cutting yet, but this guy's going to come back. Whether we're going to find some kind of role.
Sure.
Special teams. What have you. This guy is a real winner. He has not made anything but an A at Lowndes High ever since he's been there.
Yeah, he's a great kid. I've watched him play baseball and football.
And our deal was with him and Mike early on. I told both of them. I said, the guy that ain't playing quarterback's going to be playing somewhere else. I can promise you that. They're that kind of kid. But he had that unfortunate injury, but he's still with the team. He helps snap. He helps us on the sideline. He really, I think his heart has always been a little bit more with baseball.
Sure.
So there's no doubt that he'll be 100% when that season comes around.
Well, Coach, we had to punt a couple times this week. Tyson Shaw, 2 punts for an average of 27 yards, had 1 for 43 yards. He's been kind of just nursing a little bit of a back injury, right?
He is well. He has been practicing defense with us this week, so he's back.
Well, good.
I really think he hurt his back kicking off.
Oh, sure.
Kicking off. I don't know if we've talked about that, but, pulled a little chipped bone off of the edge of his those backbone.
Right.
Anyway, he's better.
Well, then you got Eric Paulo, who really, with that many scores, he kicked off 8 times, 4 touchbacks. It seems like that woke him up when that one week that Tyson Shaw went to go kick off, and then Eric Paulo said, hey, no, this is my job. I'm going to work it back in.
Well, Eric had a bad game at Parkview.
He did, yeah.
Once again, I hate to repeat myself every night, but I like to give kids credit. This kid works harder than anybody I got.
I got to meet him last week and talk to him. Great kid.
So he kicked some balls out of bounds by mistake at Parkview, kind of got a little bit down on himself. But Monday, when we got back, he was right back to work now, in the weight room, kicking off. And like you said, he was 50% in the end zone the other night. I think he's higher than 50%.
Probably
for his kickoffs for the year.
I believe he probably is. Once he started putting them in the end zone, he's done a great job. Defensively, I thought did a great job. I'm going to give Tommy Owens a nickname, Big Hit Tommy Owens. He just 7 tackles on the night we had him recorded with. He had a really good night from that linebacker spot. along with Jahari Boone, Jeff Davis. Talk about those linebackers. You've got a really good group of linebackers that's beginning to gel and get better as the season goes on.
You know, you talk about Owens first, who was our defensive player of the game.
Right.
You know, so when you talk about a kid that likes to hit,
yeah,
I mean, that's the guy. I mean, I've never seen a player that wants to hit more than he wants to hit. He's just a real physical kid. He'll run into you without worrying about anything. Got a good motor. He's learned our positions. He wants to be good. He's came a long way since he got here now.
Yeah, because this is his first year, right?
He transferred from Cook, remember? Right. Big article in the paper. You
I saw that today. Article in the paper today.
Did you see the quotes he said to the paper?
I did not. I haven't read the article.
Yeah, you need to read that now.
Okay.
He did an outstanding job with the paper. And, somebody came in this morning and laid the paper on my desk and said, Coach, you need to read this. I said, oh, Lord, what did somebody say now?
Yeah, you're always worried about that.
No, you need to read it. So Tommy did a good job with the paper. He's a really good player. Then you got, Jeff Davis, we've talked about several times here. Jeff's a very good student. He is our Mike linebacker and doing an outstanding job this year. I really believe Jeff's going to have a chance to play somewhere next year.
Well, he's got pretty good size. I mean, Jeff is not quite 6 foot, 5'10", but 200 pounds, and he seems to move well even at that 200 pounds. So.
You know, the big guys want 6'2", 6'3".
Sure.
I mean, every one of them 6'4". That's what they're looking for. But he's got a heart. He's got a motor. Somebody's going to take him. And then you got let's see, our will linebacker, Boone.
Yeah, Jahari Boone,
number 42, 11th grader, getting better every week. Coaches really like him. Also a good baseball player at Lowndes.
Yeah. Got Will Tolbert.
Sam back with Will Tolbert.
Right.
Will don't say nothing.
He doesn't. He just quietly goes out and does his job.
Will don't say nothing. Will's a football player. They all are, but
I understand.
Will's a winner. Great kid. Those 4 linebackers are solid. You look at them. We're losing the 2 inside guys, but the 2 outside guys will be back.
Still be back. Defensive line, just as we wrap up the recap tonight, of course, Elgin Griffin, Abby David, Devon Holmes, they just seem to block up the holes on that defensive line.
They had a good game. Gentry, too.
Gentry, yes, yeah.
Gentry's the fastest one of the bunch. So we got a 4-man rotation there. DJ Robinson got in there late in the game.
Yeah, he did.
He made some plays. So,
he did.
And then in the secondary, let's see, Fred had a pick, almost scored with it.
Yeah, 1 for 37 yards.
I think Tamir had a pick, and they tackled him.
Yeah.
He went about 10 yards.
And then Justin Smith.
J.T. Smith had a pick. JT's a little guy, but he'll stick right by you. So didn't have a lot of pass interference calls like the Newton game. We cleaned that up. Our coverage looked good. I don't think we blew but one coverage. That was on the drive that they scored. I think we left one of them open there on a 3rd down.
Yeah.
But much better. I know that Shiloh is in a rebuilding phase. I'm sorry, Mount
Zion, yeah. So was Shiloh, I think.
But our execution this week, offensively and defensively, was the best it's ever been.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our players of the week, and we'll get them up here as well. Talk to them just a moment. We're going to be right back after this break. You're listening to the Lowndes High Radio Network on 99.5. Kicks Country. We'll be right back after this.
Whether you're farming or doing construction work, equipment downtime costs money. And that's why folks in this area depend on Equipment Parts Supply to keep that equipment running properly. Now, they've got complete engines, parts, undercarriage parts, even attachments and implements, too. Equipment Parts Supply of Valdosta has engine kits, hydraulic pumps, and cylinder heads, too. Equipment Parts Supply, 2320 Highway 84 West, Valdosta. Phone them at 229-244-0016.
The 2016 Lowndes High Randy McPherson Coaches Show is made possible through the generous support of local sponsors like Chick-fil-A on St. Augustine Road and Chick-fil-A on Inner Perimeter Road, Southern Photos, Stan's Quality Meats, and the Mill Pizza Buffet and Games. Be sure and visit these sponsors often, and remember to thank them for their support of Lowndes High Athletics.
Luke Electrical Contractors is one of South Georgia's premier electrical companies. Terry and Brian Luke are committed to providing our area with the finest in electrical services, whether it be residential, commercial, or industrial. Terry and Brian Luke's motto is, no job too big, no job too small. So for all your electrical needs, call Terry or Brian Luke at 229-292-8157 or 229-251-8579. Terry and Brian Luke, Luke Electrical Contractors, the working man's electricians.
Country Cobbler, your only full-service shoe store in South Georgia, is overflowing with new fall merchandise for men and women. With over 60 brands, hard-to-find sizes, narrow and wide widths, there's no need to shop anywhere else. Country Cobbler also has the best selection of the North Face jackets in a variety of colors and styles for men, women, and children. Don't miss the sale racks for savings of up to 80% off. Find shoes, boots, handbags, jewelry, and assorted apparel only at Country Cobbler, Gordo Road next to Publix. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget, we ship.
At Goo Goo Car Wash, you can relax in your car. We do the washing for you. Goo Goo's full-service wash is easy. Drive in, choose the full-service option, and drive through the wash. Then pull around to our fantastic climate-controlled waiting area while our attendants vacuum and clean the inside of your car. It's that easy. Goo Goo Car Wash, open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6 p.m., located on Norman Drive in Valdosta. Football season has begun, but in South Georgia, the heat lingers. So don't neglect your air conditioner. Call Page Heating and Air at 563-9051 for the best service around. Owner John Michael Page has years of experience in service and installation for all makes and models of AC units. Page Heating and Air also provides 24-hour emergency service at no extra charge. So when you feel the heat rising, call Page Heating and Air at 563-9051 or online at pageheatingair.com. Let's head back out to the Mill Pizza Buffet and Games for more of the Lowndes High Randy McPherson Coaches Show on the Viking Radio Network on 99.5 Kicks Country.
And welcome back live to the Mill Pizza Buffet and Games. We're doing it live, the Lowndes High Randy McPherson Coaches Show. We come to the segment now where we get to talk about our impact players of the week. This is brought to you by Page Heating and Air, as well as Deloach Body Works. So, Coach, you've got 4 guys that we talk about this week: offensive player, defensive player, scout team, special teams player. Let's start with our offensive player of the week this week.
Offensive player of the week, graded out the highest, big right tackle, Kendrick Gray.
Kendrick Gray, offensive lineman, 6'5", 320 pounds. Let's give him a big hand. All right, what about our defensive player of the week?
Tommy the Hitman Owens.
See, that's going to stick now. Tommy the Hitman Owens led the team in tackles, so great night for Tommy Owens. What about the special teams player?
Special teams player is our field goal kicker, Colton Broom.
Colton Broom. He is just pretty automatic. I think he's missed one, and that was a block. So he's pretty automatic there.
He's right down the middle, Bill. He's a first-year kicking, a junior. Going to do a good job for us for the rest of the year. We're going to put a little weight on him for next year.
There we go. What about our scout team player this week?
Scout team player, outside linebacker, Walker Schwab.
Walker Schwab, a junior, 5'10", 160 pounds. What did he do special this week?
Outstanding young man. Worked his butt off with the offense, you know. Without the scout team and kids like Walker Schwab, you know, we wouldn't execute it the way we did. It's that simple. Those kids over there on that scout team now, they're not selfish at all.
Yeah.
And kids are, you know, these days they're hard to find kids like that. They want to be at the mall. They want to be playing
video games.
Games. They want to be texting people, Snapchat, Instagram.
I don't know all those things, Coach.
I don't either, but I mean that's what they want to do. You know, these guys, some of those kids on the scout teams, they know they might get a shot as a junior to play at Lowndes.
Right.
Some of them know it might not be their senior year before they get any playing time. But those kids are going to go a long way in life, I'm telling you.
Well, Coach, we're going to talk to some of these guys. I'm going to let you take a little break.
All right.
And we're going to call up a couple. Let's start here with our offensive player, Kendrick Gray. He's been standing there waiting on ready, so we're going to put him up here. And Kendrick's a big boy now. He's bigger than you are, Taylor. Kendrick Gray.
Yes.
Welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Kendrick, where do you play on the line?
Right tackle.
Right tackle. That's got to be, and it is. The offensive line is the most thankless job on that football team.
Yes, sir.
How do you deal with that? I mean, you don't get your name called out unless you mess up.
I mean, it's fine. I just worry about protecting my quarterback, Michael Barrett.
Right?
Yes, sir. And we just have to focus on protecting him, make sure we do our job right, whether they call our name or not.
Well, now, how important is that to you? I mean, what pride do you take when you've got a running back that runs for 120 yards on the night? You got a quarterback that throws for 300 yards. What's that mean to you as an offensive lineman?
I mean, I feel as the offensive line, we have our job to protect them and make sure that they finish out their jobs right, but we have to make sure we do our jobs right first. And so us finishing the block is very important, so our running back, so our quarterback won't get sacked or tackled. So us as the offensive line, we have to talk to each other and communicate and make sure that we know we're all on the same page, that we have to be protective of our quarterback and our running backs and make sure that no one gets to them.
Well, Kendrick, one of the things over the years, I've been doing this now 12 years with Lowndes, the 3 state championships that I've been involved in around, it was the offensive line that made the difference in those teams. How important is, I mean, do you all talk about that as a unit that, you know, look, it's up to us? I mean, is that part of your thought process when you guys are all getting together, offensive linemen?
Yes, sir. We talk about it all the time. We talk about how the team is really on our shoulders, that we have to be there for the other teammates and pump them up and get them ready for the game as they help us get ready for the game too. And us being there around them, all the positive energy, you know, it helps it go around the whole team. And so as a team, we could be good together and we all work together and do our jobs perfectly.
Well, now you've got, of course, at one time there's really only 5 of you really on the field, but there's probably 7 or 8 of you, 9 that really get an opportunity to play. How does that, what's practice look like for you guys, and how do you all make each other better?
Well, at practice, we just make sure everyone gets in, everyone gets the reps, and we make sure that we all get down right, all the drills and all the down blocks and everything, even with the running back stuff. We make sure we do our job right so they can get their job done.
Well, talk about your coach, Tommy Watson. I mean, what's he mean to you?
He's like a dad to us out there on the field. He cares about us a lot. You know, he's always looking after us and make sure we do our job right. He's just there to make sure that we always get our job done. And we do because, you know, we respect him and love him just like a father.
Well, Kendrick, one of the things that, as our broadcast crew, we have never slighted the offensive line. We understand. I mean, of course, Big Wes, who does the night show, I mean, the Friday night play-by-play was an offensive lineman growing up. I played a little offensive line. Most all of us, you know, were the unsung guys, and so we appreciate what you guys do out there on the field. So congratulations on a great night last Friday night against the Bulldogs of Mount Zion High School. Just on a personal note, you're what are you, a senior? What's your plans for maybe after high school?
To go to college and finish out playing football and to get an education. That's really why I like the program, because they make sure that we get an education first before the football.
Right.
And then after we get the education, then we worry about the football and make sure that's perfect too. And after school, I'm just planning on going to college and majoring in business.
Okay.
And make sure that I have my education out of the way.
And you think maybe football might be in your future too, a little bit at the next level?
Yes, sir.
Any phone calls yet, or letters or anything yet?
Not so far, but that just motivated me to work harder, so I get them.
Well, you keep going, and our team goes. As our team goes, that may be a greater opportunity.
Yes,
I'll let you go play another 7 more games. That'll get us about 15, won't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Kendrick Gray, our offensive player of the week this week. Let's give him a big hand. We're going to bring up the defensive player of the week, Tommy Hitman Owens. I was telling Tommy during the break that there was a Florida State football player, Tommy Polly, and he had the nickname Hitman because he loved to hit so much. And, of course, Mac tells me the same thing. Tommy, you just like getting out there and cracking helmets, don't you?
Yes, sir. It's fun out there being with my teammates and just be able to hit on the other team. when you go out there, you got to show them who the toughest team. That's all it's about. You got to come out there and bust them in the mouth before they get a chance to try to bust you in the mouth. So, hey.
I love talking to defensive players. They're mean. I mean, you just got a mean streak in you. And I mean, that's a good thing. You just play with an edge, don't you?
Yes, sir.
I mean, what do you do to get yourself fired up and ready for a Friday night?
All I do, I just think about I just go out there with an empty mindset, really. Like, every time I see a defender, the only thing on my mind is I got to take this man's head off. Because he ain't going to get a chance to catch this ball or run this ball. He ain't going to get a chance to get a touchdown. I'm not even going to let him get by me or the first down marker.
Well, hey, I love those goals. Those are great ones. Now, you came from Cook County High School.
Yes, sir.
Came over here your last year, came, I guess, during the summer?
Yes, sir.
What's the difference? I mean, granted, Cook's a good program. But what's the difference in making that transition from Cook High School to Lowndes High School?
Well, the biggest difference is it's more competitors. I got my teammate Jeff Davis, and then I got my teammate Tyson, even though we had a little altercation during the Bainbridge week when I gave him a little taste of it. And, I mean, it's real fun. These group of guys, they great. They really want to stay tighter, and, like, my mindset is on the same thing, and we all work as one. And then we got a great head coach, Coach Matt. You know what I'm saying? He made sure that we know what we're doing, and he always pushes us to our greatest. And that's the best thing about being here as a Lowndes County Viking.
Now, talk about who's your position coach?
My position coach is Coach Quinn.
And he's hard on. He's not real easy on you, is he?
No, sir, he really not.
Well, Coach Quinn, of course, has a great pedigree, of course, going to Louisville and then going into the NFL a little bit. What's that mean to have a coach like that understands, everything that you guys are going through?
It's good because he just let us know time's going to get tough. But at the same time, though, with time's getting tough, are you going to lay down? And really he encouraged us not to lay down, and that's a good thing because that make our mindset stronger and make our effort to keep pushing ourselves stronger.
Well, Tommy, it's been fun watching you this year, and I hate that you only got 1 year with us. So I wish you the very best, of course, this year. What about plans for after high school? What are your thoughts?
My plans after high school, I'm trying to go to college. Maybe before the end of the year, I can probably get an offer for Florida State because that's where I really want to go.
Hey, dream big. Go for it. Tommy, you got we just keep playing the way you're playing. Maybe you'll get a shot at that. Tommy, it's been great to meet you, and I'm looking forward to watching you play the rest of the year.
Yes,
there
sir.
he is, hitman, big man, Tommy Polly. Excuse me, I'm going to call you Tommy Polly. Tommy Owens. All right, who we got? Let's do our scout team. Walker Schwab. We're staying with the linebackers. Walker Schwab, 5'10", 160-pound junior. You look a little heavier than 160
yeah,
pounds.
I'm a little bit bigger than 5'10", too. I'm about 6 foot at least.
Well, see, they want to make you small, and then they'll build you up later on as you get up into your senior year. Talk about your week of practice last week. Obviously, it turned coaches' heads. What's it mean playing in that scout role?
I mean, we're just trying to get the team better, and we do whatever we can down there to get them better, and we're getting ourselves better at the same time. Well,
you play some B team. You've only played a couple games, really, right?
Yeah, I've gotten a few games, but not a lot.
But, I mean, the junior varsity games, JV games.
Yeah.
But you all, because of weather and different things, you've really only played 2, right?
Oh, yeah, we've only got 2 games.
How many games you got more left, 2?
As many as we can, I guess, as long as they don't get canceled.
Well, what's it like being a part of this practice? I mean, you got Tommy Owens and you got Tyson Shaw and you got Jeff Davis, all these guys in your position. When you look ahead of yourself, you got some talent ahead of you. What do you do?
I mean, those are all my brothers. We all get after it, I mean, we fighting for a position, but we one team. We one family, so.
There you go. And I tell you, that's something that this team, and again, when I look back on my history, the teams that have been successful at Lowndes High School are families. And that means a lot when you hear it coming from guys that are starters, but as well as guys that are on that scout team. What kind of pride do you guys take when you're asked to say, hey, I need to get these guys ready for the next week?
I mean, we look at it as we're not only getting them better, but we're getting ourselves better because we're still practicing. It's not like we're just helping them; we're helping ourselves too. We're building the future and the present.
Well, now, just on a personal note for you, I mean, of course, you're a junior. You've got another year to go at high school. But what are your thoughts for after high school, things like that?
I mean, I want to go to Georgia, like, academically.
There you go.
It's a great school to go to, and it's just always been my dream.
Well, I wish you the very best. Walker, I'm looking forward to seeing you and hopefully see you out there on Friday night some more.
Thank you.
All right, Walker Schwab, our Scout Team Player of the Week. Let's give him a big hand. My applause people have left here. We're going to welcome number 30, Colton Broom, the kicker. Colton, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Good, good. Our coach said he's going to try and put some weight on you over the offseason this year and into next year.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm trying to work hard in the weight room. I have to go in there in the mornings because I have all academic classes, and I eat as much as I can. So we'll see how it goes.
You can't just do it by yourself. Now, Colton, do you play soccer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you've got that. That'll come up in the spring, and you run all that off. So it doesn't matter what you do between now and then. When you get in soccer, you're running all the time.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. I mean, that's how I was introduced to the football team. My coach, Patrick Hunter, is the JV soccer coach. So he's mentioned kicking for the football team, and I've got friends on the team, and they just try to get me out there, and I'm enjoying it. So.
Well, now that you've kind of taken over those duties of the extra point, and I said you're pretty well perfect. You have one miss by record, but that one was a block. What's your thought process as you line up for those extra points?
I remember the first time I went out there, as I walked out there, I was pretty nervous, but when I put the tee down and I backed up, I mean, everything around me was silent. I mean, see the ball, it's like tunnel vision for me. So.
Wow. And, that's a great analogy. I've heard people say clear the mechanism, and it just everything shuts out. So obviously that's what it sounds like for you. Now, first time you really got out and kicked a football, how much difference is that from kicking the soccer ball?
Well, it's not much, but there's a lot more mechanics involved with kicking a football, and it took some getting used to, and I've gotten better at it for sure.
Now, what do you do in the soccer? I mean, you play mostly striker, or are you with midfield? What do you do?
I play year-round, so for Lowndes, I play pretty much any position, and with my club team, I mean, I mostly play right back, which is a defensive position that kind of moves up and down the field, kind of a neutral player.
Yeah, so. I'm still learning soccer. I've got a 10-year-old grandson, and that's his sport now, so I'm learning to understand it better and going to his club teams and things like that and travel teams. So I'm trying to learn soccer a little bit. So and, of course, Jordan Bright, the head coach at Lowndes, does a great job with the soccer team.
Yes, sir. We're doing pretty well. We have been since I was a freshman. We've won region 2 years in a row, and I mean, I'm looking forward to the season. I'm glad I'm on the football team too. It's been fun.
All right, there he is, our special teams player of the week this week, Colton Broom. Let's give him a big hand. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll start talking about the Ware County Gators coming up next week. We'll be right back after this break. You're listening to the Viking Radio Network on 99.5 Kicks Country. We'll be right back after this.